Down here, and the opposition Protestant people started through the stones and petrol bombs right up.
What time was this?
About 2:30 in the afternoon, and it kept on going all afternoon up to about 7 o'clock. We hadn't a policeman to protect us.
When did the troops arrive?
The troops didn't arrive till about 7 o'clock at least. 7 or 8, I think it was. And we were left holding the baby all the time for to fight ourselves. No defence of any kind except stones on what we had, not what we could find in the streets. Next thing that happened was the people on the opposition side, they are supplied with the guns from the B specials.
Were they using guns?
They were using guns. We hadn't a gun at all. And we managed to get 4 guns unauthorised from our people. And if we hadn't had those guns, the whole place would have been taken over by them.
Did you use these guns?
They did use those guns, yes, but it was more or less to frighten them off.
But what happened then? Did they actually come into the area?
They came into the area lots of times, but we were able to chase them off again, and with the shots of the guns that made them fly off again, get back over their borderline again.
Where did they come in? Did they come in over this barricade here behind us?
From Cupar Street. From Cupar Street area there is the borderline where the Protestants are, and they came right on over into the Catholic area to try to burn the Catholics out of the house.
Were all these houses occupied yesterday?
They were all occupied, yes. Yesterday, all by Roman Catholics. And
where are these people now?
All those people are away up living in different places, such as different areas, such as Turf Lodge, different other places like St. Thomas's School. Some of them are up in.
What are you going to do? Are you going to stay here?
I'm down ridden with my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law's away down to Newcastle for safety. And we're in their house, but we're worrying the night if they're going to come up that district where we're in, living in Colin Park Street.
The other side of the road.
Springfield.
This is the borderland with the Protestant area, isn't it?
That's correct.
Catholic and Protestants
Yes,
joining
it is.
here. Have you had trouble here before? Has it always been a
Yes,
sparking
it
point?
was always a sparking point on the 12th of July. The bands come and parading on the 12th of July, the Orange Men. And as soon as they're passing this area, they always aggravated a lot by humming the drums. They try to, my opinion is that they're trying to get Clonard Monastery here. In 1920 trouble, there was a brother shot dead in Clonard Monastery there from a sniper here.
What was this building over here that's in rubble now?
That building was ordinary houses, residential houses.
Just here?
Yes, and there was a small cobbler's repair shop there.
Was that actually operational yesterday?
Was
he still
no,
there?
he wasn't there. In fact, that operation, that man was a Protestant, but we never touched him at all. He's able to come up back, but apparently with the trouble on, he didn't come to open yesterday.
Were there any other shops here?
No, that's the only shop there.
And were these all Catholic families?
All
here?
Catholic families. Every one of them have been, all the whole lot. This is all predominantly Catholic in this section. Over here is the borderline. That's the Protestant area there.
No, as you can see, there isn't any
No,
other
they came up from there.
They came up from there and barricade. We had a barricade.
How many of them were in it?
Oh gosh, we say they had guns and ammunition, and we hadn't anything at all.
Where were you at this time?
Well, we had to fly into the Clonard Church, the monastery, and we had to crawl along on our tummies, you know, to save ourselves from getting shot, you know, through one of the windows.
Were there any
They were
people here in the
sniping, you
streets at all?
see. They were sniping, you know, from everybody had sort of cleared out from this part, you know, and they were sniping from the roofs and, you know, they're getting over that way. Well, we hadn't anything to protect ourselves at all.
What happened when the troops moved in? This was about 7 o'clock, was it?
Well, after that, we went away then, really.
It was
you
a
know?
it really was a
Did
Welsh.
the burning stop then?
No, the burning didn't stop. The Welsh regiment, it was a Welsh regiment that moved in. And about 12 o'clock, about 11 o'clock, I'd say, they made another attack from the Protestant area, and the troops ran away and left it. They were frightened, and one of the men, that apparently, as I'm led to believe, was injured, and they even ran away and left him. Yes, they ran away and left them also. And that was the Welsh regiment. Of course, we have a different regiment in there, apparently. This regiment, I think, is the Scotch regiment, is there?
No, it's not. It's
What is it?
infantry. The
Infantry, is it?
okay.
Well, listen, how did they actually burn these houses along here?
By throwing petrol bombs over the roof from the Protestant area.
They didn't actually come into the street.
They did. Some of them came
They
up as far as
must
this here.
This house here behind you is still burning.
Yes, that's
From
right.
They're all
Well,
still,
did they
they're
throw-
all still burning this morning, as a matter of fact.
in fact,
No?
even this morning, at around about 8 or 9 o'clock, the military were here, and what happened next was there's a couple of snipers here, and the military had to get off and we had to desert the streets, and the military had to go in the back to see if they could get the snipers here. This was only at 10 o'clock this morning here, but they didn't catch them, the snipers. And the military was all around all the houses there to get them.
Well, listen, this is a no man's land now.
No, this is...
Will the people come back?
Well, they'll try and invade. My opinion is that they're trying to come right on up to take the rest of the Catholic area and to set the rest of the houses on fire.
Well, what about the people who lived here? Will they come back?
No, they'll hardly. It'll be quite a time before they'll be back. As you see, they're all burned to ruin.
Will you come back?
Well, I hope so. We'll come back.
Well, we're not afraid.
We're not afraid of them.
We're not afraid. We're not afraid to live.
But the guns, we don't fear anything.
As a matter of fact, we were the only family that stayed there the night before last when the trouble really first started. It wasn't really so bad, you know.
Do you feel safer now that there are British troops all over this area?
No, I'd rather see the Irish troops in, because I think the British troops are more inclined to... as soon as the British troops arrived here yesterday, by the way, you could have heard the opposition side, the President side, singing God Save the Queen, as much as say, we're your boys, like, come on down, defend us and help us out, in other words. There's another way of trying to get them to their side, seeing it was British troops, naturally.
What kind of people lived here? Were they young, old, were they mixed?
All mixed, entirely mixed.
Some of them lived here for maybe 60 years, you know.
Were there many children?
Yes, they got the children put away to
Were
the
the children
different...
actually evacuated during the
before,
siege?
No, actually before, because we're expecting it. See, the night before last, they were fighting down in Cupar Street, and we're waiting every time for it coming up to here, but they didn't get up the distance here to set the place on fire. Yesterday afternoon, was just the day before, they set 2 public houses on fire down there in Cupar Street, and the fire brigade went down to put them out, and the mob, the Protestant mob, wouldn't let the fire brigade go down to put them out. And there's no police protection or nothing. In fact, at first, whenever the police did come down 2 nights ago, when they were starting down in Cupar Street, the way we manoeuvred it was the police armoured cars went down first, police specials behind them, and then you got the pace lights coming behind them to get on the protection, to get shooting onto the false road. That's what I was informed anyway. Well, then, of course, we got also a sniper. A sniper was cut up in one of these mills at the back here last night. He was burned to death, apparently. That's what I'm led to believe also.
How many families altogether have been evacuated? Have you any idea?
Oh, gosh, it's very hard to say at all. I mean, there's an awful lot of them. You know, all of these families here, they haven't anywhere to live now, you know. They're living in the like of schools and, you know...
St. Thomas's School, for instance.
Church halls, that type of thing there, you know.
They're just temporarily living in...
Did any police come into this area last night?
No, in fact...
We hadn't any protection whatsoever.
One of the priests of the Clonard Monastery phoned for the police away about, what time would it be, about
4-ish, by 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, he phoned into the police
yesterday when
for assistance. The police turned around and says, we're too busy, we can't go down. And the next thing that happened was the priest turned around and says to him, why can you not come down? It's because it's your side that's doing the fighting with the guns. And the policeman turned around and says to the phone to him to say, what do you mean by our side? And the priest turned around and says, you know well enough what I mean by your side.